Hello, today I want to show you how I use Make automation to generate posts for LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. This is also part of our big content marketing machine, which you can see here in the background. So this is a kind of path here where the social media platforms are managed. But because this is too extensive here and above all, because there's already a video about it, I have separated this out and created a dedicated scenario for it. Speaking of scenarios at Pickert, we also build these kinds of automations for you. So if you need support with this, take a look at Pickert GmbH or read the description below where we've written everything down. Maybe we can support you with that as well. So what do I have in this scenario now? First, I have a webhook that triggers the process, and then we read the data from Airtable. I'll get to that in a moment. Then we have these different assistants that use ChatGPT to generate text and also images, or rather image prompts, and we create the images with Flux. After that, we write everything back into Airtable and inform the user about the result. And then we also add another path where everything can be posted automatically. Now let's take a look at the Airtable. Basically, this is a column here that contains the article for which I want to generate something. Then there are a few other columns that aren't relevant for us today. There are other videos about those as well. And over here we have LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. We have a field here for the featured image. And at the end, another field for an Instagram image. That means if we want to run this now, we'll just let the scenario run. The webhook is now waiting to be triggered. And when I click the go button here, the scenario starts and we can see it as well. It's already in the assistant for LinkedIn, and it will take a few minutes until it's finished running. And in the meantime, I'll take a break and then we'll look at the results together. The scenario ran through without any errors. And now let's take a look at the individual elements here. That's trivial since only the record ID was passed, and we use that to get the data from Airtable with the get a record module. And the data is here. In this specific case, it's the article that we've read out here. And now we pass this article on to these different assistants. That means we start with the LinkedIn assistant. And if you've seen my videos before, then you also know that I usually don't prompt directly in a module here, but instead call up an assistant. Why I do this and what it has to do with reusability and management, I've made a separate video about that. So that means I only pass the article to this assistant here. The same goes for Facebook and Instagram. And now let's take a look at these assistants. You can find them on platform, OpenAI.com. There you can sign up and then create these assistants, which you can call from external sources. And here I've already selected the LinkedIn assistant, and let's take a look at the prompt. You are a copywriter, you write LinkedIn posts. What is your task? You receive an article and turn it into a LinkedIn post with various settings. Also, how should you behave? How should you write? Then with ChatGPT, we always have the problem with those words that I would like to avoid here. That doesn't always work very well, but I'll make a video about that soon and show how you can improve it. And then also how long should it be and much more. And actually, it's the case that I have a separate assistant for Facebook and Instagram, and they don't differ all that much. But here, for example, it says best practices for Facebook and things like that. We use emojis a bit differently, and the style and tone are also somewhat different from LinkedIn. And with Instagram, it's different again. But here too, you can see that the structure of this prompt is very, very similar. Yes, and we find the results here after the assistant has run through each time in the results section. And it's the same with Facebook. You can also see that the structure of the posts is completely different. Yes, and then for creating the build or the images, we simply use the result of this LinkedIn post. And I also have an assistant here. Where is it? Create image, right? Image from prompt. No, image prompt from text. That's it. And it takes this text and then analyzes the text. It looks at what the topic is, what details there are, how we want to visualize it, and much more, and then creates a prompt from that. And we also have to clean it up a bit because sometimes there are special characters in there, and especially ideogram, which I'm not using here, but ideogram in particular is very sensitive to that and often doesn't work if there are any strange characters in the prompt. That means I tidy up the prompt, make it clean, and then pass it on. Let's take a look at that. Capture photograph and so on. Zero inbox method, and then I pass that on to Flux. I use Fel AI for that. By now, there's also the Flux API. I should try that out as well. And here I just specify landscape, pass on the prompt, and for the one-to-one format, it looks exactly the same, with the only difference being that here it's not landscape, but square HD. And then the result is written back into Airtable. Let's take a look at that. We can see the featured image here. A bit, yeah, an empty screen, yeah. So basically, it's simulating exactly that. And then the various texts. Carousel 08, no, here it's LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and then at the end here again, the Instagram image. Yeah, so with that, we've basically generated everything we need. And now, of course, I could have also used the different post modules back here, but I thought we'd just do that live right here and then see how it works. What do I need to do for that? I need to, I want to make some space here first because we're going to put a router in between. So a second path that we have in here. All right, and we can close this again. And what do we need then? We need a, well, first we have to download the image, right? We do that with HTTP get a file. Specifically, it's the featured image, and we have a URL in here. So with get a file, I can then download this image from Airtable and have it available for the postings accordingly. Then we post the whole thing on LinkedIn with create a user image post. Then we use Instagram for business, create a photo post. This personal Instagram module doesn't work with posting these posts with images. You can only do that with these business components. Otherwise, you have to go through the API. Okay, so what do we have here? Let's try to make this look a bit nicer. Let's go into LinkedIn. As usual, I have my connection here, which I then need to confirm. And through this HTTP get a file, the system already recognizes that this is the file I want to upload. I could give it a title and alt text, but that's not important to me right now. And the content is our LinkedIn post that we generated. The whole thing should appear in the main feed and be public. And with that, we're already done. Then let's go into Instagram. Here I select which page it should be published on. And with Instagram, it's actually the case that I don't need to use an HTTP module beforehand, because here I can simply provide a URL. And for that, we want to use the one-to-one image. That means I go to Instagram image here, take the URL directly, and that already works. And the caption is then the Instagram post. That's this here. Okay. And then finally, we have Facebook. And for Facebook, again, we first need to select the page where do we want to publish it. Let's choose about ZERO. Then I add the photo here. It also recognizes that this file has been downloaded, and I select that I want to upload a photo. I could actually do this from the URL as well, but since we've already downloaded it, we can just use it directly here. And the caption refers to the image. Here we now need the message, so Facebook. So with that, we've basically done everything. And sometimes Facebook responds with this error message, just like Google Drive does. Just open it again and save it, and then it works. Okay, now we want to run this again, and so that the texts aren't generated again, I'll just click on disable route here. That means if we run the scenario now, it will automatically only follow this path. Let's save the whole thing. It didn't produce any more errors. We'll run it again and then click on go here again. And yes, it's already running here. LinkedIn post, Instagram post. It takes a moment because it has to download the image via the URL and then upload it. And for the other two, the image is already downloaded and just needs to be uploaded. Okay, Facebook is taking a while too, so it's probably also due to Meta. So let's take a look at the results. So let's go to the LinkedIn profile activities. Yes, there it is already. I'm going to delete it right away. I don't want to post anything today. I've already made a post. Let's refresh the Facebook page. There it is, 0 inbox. Okay, maybe I should have formatted this here. Yeah, removed those stars, but whatever. And we also update on Instagram. Yes, and here is the post with the corresponding text. Yeah, so it's actually not difficult at all. The crucial thing is always just where the posts come from. And there is actually a bit of prompt work involved so that the posts aren't just any random generic texts, but are actually worded the way you want them to be. I hope you enjoyed it and that you can make use of it. By the way, my camera is gone now because that always happens with Loom on Instagram. No idea why, and please leave me a subscription and a like, and I'll be happy if we see each other again in the next video. Bye.